my kind and inquisitive Virgo friend. Hello and welcome. My name is Mina, and I'm here to offer you a 3-card reading exploring the themes of you, your path, and your potential. I invite you to consider what the reading reveals about possible challenges, opportunities, and personal growth for the week ahead. Take a deep breath, rest your mind, and let's see what the cards have to share with you today. Virgo, there's a quiet ache that's been pulsing under the surface. You may have gone about your days with the usual attention to detail, keeping up with what's expected and taking care of others in ways both large and small. But beneath that steady presence, there's a subtle tension, a longing for warmth, for the sense that your efforts are truly seen. It's as if you've been carrying a lantern through fog, hoping someone will notice the steady light. You might sense in small moments that you wish you didn't have to do quite so much on your own. Even when surrounded by others, there's a feeling of being set apart, of holding back some truth about what you really want. All week, this tension flickers, the contrast between your capability and your desire to be embraced for who you are, not just what you do. There's a quiet need not for applause but for genuine connection, to be met soul to soul without having to prove anything first. It's not loneliness exactly, it's the ache of wanting to be deeply understood, and that longing is more honest than any mask you could wear. You carry yourself with a certain fire this week, even if it isn't always obvious to others. The Queen of Wands card points to a presence in you that's magnetic, quietly self-possessed and brimming with creative spark. There's a warmth in your gestures, a generosity in your spirit that draws people closer, sometimes without you even trying. Yet, what's most striking is how you manage to channel both vulnerability and strength at the same time. You may notice yourself leaning into situations with a sense of purpose, trusting your instincts more readily than usual. There's a subtle confidence that emerges, even in the way you listen or offer help. But underneath, there's a flicker of self-doubt. Do people really see who you are or just what you give? You may find yourself second-guessing a compliment or wondering if your presence is truly valued. Still, there's a quiet rebellion brewing, a willingness to risk being more visible, to speak a little more freely, to let your opinions show. This week, your creativity wants an outlet, and your warmth seeks genuine exchange. You might notice the urge to step beyond your safe routines, to share a little more of yourself, perhaps even to set a boundary where you once stayed silent. There's a tension between wanting to be recognized and hesitating to ask for it directly. Yet the more you honor your own passion and sense of self, the more others will be drawn to your authentic light. The energy is not loud, but it's undeniable. You are ready to be seen, even if part of you is still learning how. From this quietly blazing inner state, a path unfolds that isn't entirely smooth. The gap between what you offer and what you receive starts to feel more noticeable. Your desire for genuine connection, for your real self to be recognized, leads you to question old patterns. It's the kind of week where the smallest gestures from others or their absence take on new meaning. The more you show up as yourself, the more you feel the friction between your intentions and the world's response. This is the spark that shapes your path in the days ahead. The 5 of Cups colors the landscape of your week with a tender, unmistakable sense of disappointment. It's not that everything is going wrong, far from it, but that certain hopes or expectations seem to go unmet. Maybe there's a conversation that falls flat or a gesture that's overlooked. Perhaps you long for someone to reach across the silence, only to notice their attention drift elsewhere. The feeling isn't dramatic, but it lingers, a subtle mourning for what could have been, for connections that don't quite land. There's a pull to look back, to dwell on what's missing, to replay moments in your mind, and wonder how things might have felt if only you were seen a little more clearly. This isn't about bitterness or blame. It's about the very real ache that comes from being open and not always being met in the way you hope. At times, you might catch yourself retreating into solitude, wondering if it's safer to hold back than to risk disappointment again. The pressure builds not from outside demands but from within, the longing to feel included, to be cherished, to know your presence matters. While the world goes about its business, you're left sorting through your feelings, trying to make sense of what hurts and what heals. Yet in this friction there's also movement. The discomfort points you toward what you value most: honest connection, shared joy, and the freedom to be yourself. The path may involve letting go of old expectations, or even grieving a little for what hasn't worked out. But as you do, you make space for something new. The week is marked by the push and pull of hope and regret, of reaching out and pulling back, of learning where you end and others begin. This is the stretch where growth takes root. It's in this restless space, where longing and disappointment mingle, that your potential quietly waits. Nothing is fixed, the story is still being written. What unfolds next depends on how openly you meet your own feelings, how gently you treat yourself in moments of vulnerability. The possibility of something richer is not guaranteed by events alone, but by your willingness to stay present with what is true for you now. The door opens not with force, but with honest attention to your own heart. The Three of Cups arrives as a gentle invitation. There is joy to be found in unexpected places, especially when you allow yourself to move toward it, even tentatively. The sense of belonging you crave does not require perfection, nor does it depend entirely on others getting everything right. Sometimes the first step toward celebration is choosing to notice who is already on your side, who listens when you speak, who welcomes your laughter and your stories. This card suggests that moments of connection, however small, carry healing power. If you find yourself withdrawing out of disappointment, there's no need to rush back. But as you soften into your own needs, you might discover glimmers of warmth in shared smiles, in the simple act of being together, in the gentle recognition that you are not alone in your longing. Growth this week looks less like grand gestures and more like quiet appreciation, a willingness to lean into the connections that feel real, to nurture the bonds that offer genuine support, and to celebrate even small victories. There is room now for lightness, for laughter, for the sweetness of being included, not because you've performed, but because you are simply yourself. What becomes possible is not the erasure of disappointment, but its transformation into gratitude for the connections that do nourish you. The invitation is to let these moments in, to allow yourself to be buoyed by them, and to remember that joy often arrives in the company of others, even when you least expect it. The arc of your week is gentle but powerful. The Queen of Wands brings you into the world with a quiet, magnetic warmth, a readiness to share your light, even if only a sliver at a time. The Five of Cups reminds you that longing and disappointment are part of the human experience, especially for someone who values honesty and connection as deeply as you do. But it's the Three of Cups that shows what can flourish when you honor what's real, both in yourself and in the people around you. Together, these energies weave a story of longing that leads to courage, of vulnerability that opens the heart, of disappointment that is slowly softened by joy. You may not find every answer this week, but you will find your own resilience. When you allow yourself to feel what's true, to stay open to both the ache and the possibility, you discover that connection is not as far away as it sometimes seems. Quietly, patiently, the week helps you remember that you're not meant to walk alone. There is room for both your strength and your longing for what has hurt and what can heal. And in the gentle rhythm of give and receive, you find your place once more, just as you are, fully seen and quietly celebrated. Actionable insights for Virgo this week. Try reaching for a familiar comfort when you feel the ache of being overlooked. Let yourself enjoy one small moment of togetherness, even if it's imperfect. Notice when your energy feels lighter around certain people and gently follow that feeling. Spoken word affirmations to repeat aloud for a more positive mindset. I honor the warmth I carry inside. My presence matters even in quiet rooms. I am allowed to want real connection. I notice the joy that finds me now. I am supported and I belong. And now, dear friend, I thank you for giving me your time. I truly hope I have given you something helpful in return. Goodbye and good luck until next time.